Hi everyone, my name is Haixiang Zhang. Today I'm going to do a project regarding homelessness. As we know nowadays, homelessness affects over 100,000 people in Australia based on 2012 data. The aim of this project is to come up with innovative ideas to solve homeless issues. Before I start the project, first of all, there's more than one project management methodology. There are quite a lot of them, actually, and some even combine to form new approaches. What is the most common way to plan out a project? Sequence the tasks that lead to final result and work on them in order. This is a waterfall methodology. The traditional method for managing projects, and the one that is the simplest to understand. That's the reason I chose to use the waterfall methodology in this project. Because I break project down into serious sequential tasks with clear defined goals and work through tasks in order, completing each one before moving on to the next in line. Now I'm going to show you a flow chart. The purpose of the flow chart is to give a reference point when dealing with the project. It can be used in various situations to great effort. Like I draw the start box as initiation, like I did board research mind map findings, then I add subsequent box to follow the logic sequence. When we're talking about the reasons behind homelessness, we normally think about why people are homeless. Homelessness is often the result of a number of complex issues. This can fall into three categories. For example, structure factors, system failures, individual circumstances. Make example like homelessness can be caused by poverty, unemployment, lack of affordable housing, poor physical and mental health, drug and alcohol abuse, gambling, domestic violence, etc. All of these factors can cause a person to become homeless. They also can be one of the reasons why people remain homeless. For example, drug and alcohol abuse can be both of the cause and the result of domestic violence, mental illness, family instability. And then I'm going to show you fishbone. Because the fishbone diagram visually represents the cause and the effect analysis of the problem. I create this diagram in the shape of fish. Start with the head, which is the problem in question. A straight line leading to the head is the fish's backbones. Lines connected to the backbones are the causes of the problem.
Can I get a picture?
Yeah.
Can I get a picture? Come on, let's have a...
So what brought you into selling the big issue?
Just to hold with extra little bits and pieces for my children.
Oh yeah. So do you think it helps your life?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah? And it helps you in an income?
Yeah.
Everything? Thank you.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had.
So as we can see, homelessness in Australia has reached crisis levels, with more people sleeping rough than ever before, where there is no single solution to the problem. I come up with a few possible ideas to solve homelessness issue. First of all, most of the federal government's funding for the homelessness sector is provided through the states and the territories under agreements. And also there are a large number of the charities and non-profit organizations which do a number of things for people who are homeless. This can include accommodation service, collection of resource, legal advice, financial support, skills and employment service, and also the health service. So I'm going to show you a mind map. Because the mind map is a powerful visual thinking tool that gives me clues to record the information. And I use the mind map to describe ideas to myself. But after research, I found perhaps the most of the innovative ways to help homeless guys to make money is through the big issue. And I'm going to show you a radio shows talking about the big issue. What is the big issue and how does it work?
What does this organisation really do?
What do we do? Well, we do lots of things. The main part of it is obviously a magazine that's sold on the streets by people who are homeless or marginalised in some way.
How does the charity get funded and all that?
Majority of funding for the magazine is through sales of the magazine, so about 80% of the funding is through sales of magazines, and then obviously advertising within the magazines and philanthropic trusts.
How do you get people, homeless people, involved with, selling the big issue? Do they come to you, or do you?
Yeah, look, majority of them do. What we do find is that it's word of mouth. So other vendors encourage other people to come and sell because it makes a difference to them. So you might find that if you've got a vendor who's currently living in a shelter, in a crisis accommodation or something, and they're then going back at the end of the night with a bit of cash in their pocket and a smile on their face. So the next day there's a few more coming along, and it just kind of rolls on. So we also go out and seek them as well. So we go to soup vans and we go to other agencies, that sort of thing. But majority is through other vendors.
Do they have to buy the magazines? Or?
Yeah, the vendors buy the magazines off us for $2.50 and go on and sell them to the public for $5. Because ultimately we're not a handout.
Yeah.
We are here, to provide them with a mechanism to be able to go on and change their lives. And if we continue to give out free things and things like that, it doesn't always change things. So it's about, running your own business, knowing how many mags you're going to need for the day. A lot of vendors only come in here in the morning and buy one magazine, because that's all they've got, is $2.50. At the end of the day, they've got $50 or $60 in their pocket. Yeah. Then we've got some vendors at the start of the week when the new mag comes out, come and buy 400 or 500 mags.
How did the big issue start?
Well, it actually started in the UK quite a few years ago now. It's like 18 years ago. And it was started by a gentleman by the name of Gordon Roddick. He was in New York and there was a man begging. But rather than just take money off people, he would give them a piece of his poetry. So he got talking with this guy and they came up with, the street paper model. And now there's over 180 street papers right around the world. But unfortunately here in Australia, we don't see a lot of homelessness, and automatically we have this really big stereotype that if you are homeless, you're a dero or you're a drug addict, which it's not the case. It's actually quite the opposite. But we have a massive problem with people with mental illness.
So do you keep track of the homeless people?
We'd like to keep a little bit more in contact with some of them that drift out of our system, but they always know that the door's always open, and a lot of people do that. They get really well and they'll go off and they'll go back to school or they'll go back to employment, full-time employment, and then they might get unwell again and they come back here, and it's a revolving door. We're the only organisation who does anything like what we do here, i.e. we give them employment.
The big issue is one of many organisations playing its part in assisting the homeless. But is enough really being done to help?
Do you think the government is doing enough to support homeless?
No, not at all.
Do you reckon the government does enough to support homeless shelters?
No, homelessness is a pretty big problem.
Do you think the government is doing enough to support homeless shelters?
No, they should support more.
Do you think the government is doing enough to support homeless?
I think that's really hard done by. I think you can do more to give them support.
So I don't think there's enough support for them. Not that many people really look at them, and nobody tries to help them out very much.
I think it's people that we need to help, and with resources we have an obligation to help.
Could be 15 years old again. Would you change anything?
Yeah, I'd try and get some accommodation. And your young bloke could keep to school and get an education. Or you'd end up like us.